Welcome to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever seen a horse who could talk? With your host, Louisa Barton, who really wants to be a famous rider. She really loves to ride fast. Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care.
Truth is, I have horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton. Enjoy the show.
Larsen Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larsen, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larsen Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital. Thank you for joining us this week on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to our television broadcast sponsor, Larsen Farms,
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
And that would be Dancing Pete Rhoda, my co-host from Complementary Horsemanship. I'm Louisa Barton. Thank you for tuning in.
And I'm supposed to say, you're glowing. What has happened?
I am. Can you see?
Yes, it's amazing.
I actually have to tell the chaps out there that it's not too late. If you haven't got a Valentine's Day gift picked up, you can pop by Nirvana Medical Spa, and your wife, girlfriend, or fiance could glow also. My skin is absolutely glowing.
Wait a minute, the ladies can't get that for us?
Sure.
Okay, good.
Actually, a lot of men really enjoy a nice facial. And I have to say, this was very relaxing, very impressive, and it makes a very nice, yes, that is me in a bathrobe. It makes a very, very nice Valentine's Day gift or a Mother's Day gift, or just for any reason at all that you might like to treat somebody, your other half, to a nice gift. Nirvana Medical Spa is an absolutely wonderful place to go. Sorry about seeing me with no makeup on, folks. It just is what it is.
No wonder you're glowing.
I know, right? But anyway, a wonderful experience, and we'll be sharing a little bit with you about the Glow 2 in the future, because we have some videos of what that process includes, and it certainly is a wonderful experience. Thank you, Nirvana Medical Spa. And if you're listening on Saturday morning and you realize you missed Valentine's Day, if you're on the Sky 97.3, dash down and get a gift. It's never too late.
And have them predate it. Like you had it, but you didn't know where it was.
You didn't need to mess up.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some events that are going on in and around the horse capital. Paws and Pearls. It is the 8th annual Vocal Furball, presented by Lugano Diamonds, and this is a wonderful event held on Friday, February 23rd at World Equestrian Centre.
Black tie formal, guys.
Yes, a lovely, lovely event, and Vocal is a wonderful, wonderful cause. Voice of Change Animal League, looking out for our wonderful four-leggeds. And I have an absolutely phenomenal dog that I got from Vocal, so if you're looking to find a barn buddy to give a forever home to, Vocal is a wonderful point of contact for that, and a great organization.
This is going to be at the Expo Center 1 at the World Equestrian Center.
Yep, and this is their big annual fundraiser to help them stay in business. So if you can help out by buying a seat or a table, and if you can't go, tell a friend about it. We'd certainly love to see you there. Also, don't forget, a little bit out there, but the way this year's flying by, not so far in the distant future, we have Equifirst Aid USA, which is on the 12th of May at Midnight Rose Equestrian Centre in Citra from 10 to 2 p.m. Includes some phenomenal teaching.
My favorite part of this whole thing is because you are their first responder. So that means if your horse gets hurt, you're the first one that's going to be helping them.
It sure is. And for $99, you get to learn all the basics like vital signs, colic detection, bandaging, all the important things that you don't want to try to figure out on the day of an incident that you'd like to know.
Rate,
Yep.
check the gums, that kind of stuff can be.
If you own a horse,
Very important.
this is priceless
Yes,
to have
ma'am.
this information. And even if you've had this information in the past, but you need a refresher, for $99, this is a great way to do that. So you can follow Midnight Rose Equestrian Centre for more information on Equifirst Aid USA. That is May the 12th. Also, another amazing organization, Open Hands Animal Rescue, March 23rd. This is at the Greenway Trails. This is an obstacle play day fundraiser for you and your horse. And I love obstacles. Horses love to play. And this is an absolutely wonderful organization. So please follow Open Hands Animal Rescue for more information on how to get yourself signed up for this Greenways trail ride with obstacles play day with your horse.
$50 donation, including lunch.
Yeah, which is absolutely phenomenal. You can't beat it to give your horse that kind of interaction. And that's going to be in Dunellen at Anne Hanley's farm, and the address is on the flyer, so you can actually look that up. And you can help benefit Open Hands Animal Rescue, also a phenomenal organization.
Equine Initiative.
Yes, the Equine Initiative. We are the only chamber we know of in the world that has an equine initiative, and we love bringing our partners together with horse folks. So if you're listening on the Sky on Saturday morning, you missed it.
Whoops.
Sorry. But if you're listening on the television, on Equus Television Network or on social media, that is this Thursday, February the 15th, and that is at HITS, 2 p.m. That is at the Spectator Tent. And we're going to have tours. We're going to let you learn all about show jumping, meet a lot of the people that run HITS. We call it the Horseman's Show. It is an absolutely phenomenal showgrounds. We're very fortunate to have HITS. They have done an incredible job upgrading that facility, and people are loving it.
We always want to thank Pyranha for sponsoring these events.
Absolutely. Pyranha is our presenting sponsor of the Equine Initiative, and we are very excited to welcome you to come join us. And if you're listening on the Sky, I'm sorry, check out next month. We got to do a clap and a cheer here, because seriously, thank you to Seminole Feed stores who have been in Marion County, serving Marion County with their safe feed mill for horses only for 90 years.
1934.
Yes, 19, and that's incredible. I mean, I can only imagine what's coming at 100 years, but 90 years serving Marion County with the world's safest feed, a mill that's only for horses. You don't have to worry about anything else ending up in your feed. What an incredible company they are. We're so grateful to have them right here in the horse capital in 90 years. So happy birthday, Seminole Feed stores.
Here's to 90 more.
Don't forget, there's a new barn hunt classes are starting at Ocala Dog Ranch.
What is a hunt? Barn hunt?
Fun. It's so fun.
Oh.
No rats get hurt, by the way, in this process. So this is very safe for the rats, but the dogs are actually set into the barn around all the hay bales and everything, and there's a course they have to find the rats, and it's a race, and it's set up very cool. It's very neat at Ocala Dog Ranch. I love this, and lots of fun. And I am going to emphasize, no rats get hurt, so there is no gobbling up the rat or anything. The rat is safe.
So they're in a safe container.
They're in a safe container, yes. So Ocala Dog Ranch, check it out. Beginner class starts Tuesday, March the 5th at 6:30. Advanced class is Wednesday, March 6th at 6:30. That sound means we have to go, but I love Neil at Ocala Dog Ranch. He is another awesome English gentleman. We have an awesome English gentleman on the show tonight too, who Neil will love, love, love. Neil, I hope you're tuned in. Gotta go because Dr. Cayot's on next, so stay with us. This portion of the Horse Talk Show is brought to you by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, our television broadcast sponsor, Larsen Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and supporting sponsors DAC Minerals and Vitamins, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip, Piranha, Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, and Ocala Dog Ranch. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
Horsemen, are you tired of technology that doesn't fit your way of life? Lip Chip, built by horsemen for horsemen, is ready to revolutionize your world. The answer is in the HoofLink system. Simply implant, scan, and unlock your horse's health information. From driving to Grand Prix jumping, all horses, all breeds, and all disciplines. The future is in the integrity and transparency of all horse sports, and in the safety of our horses. The future is here, and the future is Lip Chip.
Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larsen Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I know we told you Dr. Cayot was coming, and he is, but we had so many event mentions today that we
didn't get to all
wrap
of them.
those up first. So it's our favorite: run,
ride,
roll,
relay.
And what is that? It's Shangri-La Campground Trailhead, March 23rd, to support the Greenway Trails.
$75 per person.
Yep.
You have one person that rides, one that rolls on a bicycle. And one that rides on a horse.
It's a great relay. It's lots of fun. Isaac actually was on his one wheel last year following that event. It was great fun, and it does support the Greenway Trails, and we are grateful that we can walk on them, ride on them, cycle on them, and that they're ours to use in this community. It's amazing, so we definitely want to help out where we can.
Our next one is Women's Warrior Weekend,
That's
March
right.
1st to the 3rd.
This is fantastic. Equine therapy for women warriors. Camping, bonfire, trail rides, mounted shooting, lots of fun. Should be an absolutely fantastic time. It's an all-female retreat, and that is March 1st to the 3rd. And yes, that's a reach out to spiritequinetherapy@outlook.com. And then don't forget, a night to remember. Oh, no, we got to jump to this one. This one's important. So coming up in November 22nd and 23rd, which I think should be Horse Capital of the World weekend. From 10 to 3 on the 22nd, we have the Equine Industry Expo to celebrate all breeds of horses, all jobs. There'll be demos. Pete will be doing a horsemanship demo for us. Hobby Horse Equestrian Games is Saturday, where you get to learn horse sports from the safety of a stick horse, and the Horse Capital All Breed Parade, all happening in 2 days at the Florida Horse Park. So get it on your calendar.
Something to look forward to.
Yes, loads and loads of fun. Food trucks, vendors, all sorts of fun stuff. And win ribbons and trophies. Yes. A night to remember. A fundraiser for Gentle Carousel, an art exhibit. Jonathan Truss is coming from England, and he has painted magic. I'm so excited. Silent auction, free admission, February 22nd, 5 to 8 p.m. You got to go there. You got to go there. Larsen Hay, don't forget, they're now open until 5:30 on the weekdays instead of 5, and they're open till 2 on Saturday, which is awesome.
That is great.
Yes, we're taking it. We'll come back to that, Isaac. I love that, but we're going to do that in the end because I know we need to switch to Dr. Cayot so we don't miss out hearing about ulcers in horses. So
we'll be right back.
We will. Louisa Barton here with Dr. Adam Cayot from Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. We are at the Florida Horse Park, a beautiful equestrian facility. We're very glad to have the Florida Horse Park here in our community. Dr. Cayot, we're going to chat a little bit about avoiding gastric ulcers in horses.
Yeah, so gastric ulcers in horses is very common, especially in performance horses, race horses, show horses. It's a very common problem, and it can cause all kinds of issues, performance-wise, health-wise, and just overall well-being of the horse. The best way to prevent it is to...
Not buy a horse.
Not buy a horse, yeah. There's a lot of those. Don't buy a horse. You won't have to worry about it. But if you so insist on buying a horse and you want to prevent your ulcers, minimize the amount of time that they go without access to food. And specifically, roughage, grass. Horses are meant to be grazing all day. That's what they're supposed to be, that's what they're meant to be doing. So, and there's two reasons for that, that helps minimize ulcers. One is the grass and the hay that they bring in acts as a buffer to the acid that is in their stomach, or that's produced by their stomach. And then the saliva that is produced is a base, and that helps counteract the the effects of the acid that are produced in their stomach. So those two things are huge factors in minimizing your chances of gastric ulcers. Now, obviously, in our current horse management facility, you can't have your horses out a lot of places all the time. So in order to minimize your chances, if they have to be stalled during the day, is try to have access to some sort of hay or some sort of roughage as much as you can throughout the day. Minimize your large grain, feedings. Break them up if you can to smaller amounts more often. Yep. And those things will help. Obviously, the other things, keep the horse on a constant routine, minimize stress. All those things will help with preventing gastric ulcers.
And it's quite a high percentage of horses in the show world that suffer from this, and that's due to obviously stress because they're in the show world, but also traveling to different places, and as you mentioned, being stalled as opposed to being turned out more naturally. There's quite a high percentage. It's something like 90%.
It's 90% plus. That I don't know, a study years ago that was done, found 90+% of horses that are in that type of environment, racing, showing, show signs of gastric ulcer disease. And so it's very common. It's a very common problem. And to try to minimize it, it's a management issue that needs to be considered.
And how do you treat that if you have a horse that has that problem?
Well, there's a lot of products out there that help with that. Typically, I go for omeprazole, and the formulations, GastroGuard is what I use. That's the brand that I use first. But there's all kinds of cimetidine and other things, sucralfate and things that will help with that. But management also helps. Management's a big part of winning the battle against gastric ulcers. And just depending on the severity, depends on how long I'll treat the horse for. Generally, if you want a definitive diagnosis on gastric ulcers, we can do an endoscopic exam of the stomach and look for them. Otherwise, you can treat them, just symptomatically and see how they respond. You don't, obviously if the horse has or does not have gastric ulcers and you treat it, there's nothing that's, adverse that's going to happen because of that. But you can, if they're kind of given the signs, the research tells us they probably have it. Right? So 9 out of 10 of them have it. So there's probably a good chance that they do.
A very good point that you made. Good quality forage being very important. And I've noticed in a lot of the racehorse barns on the backside of tracks, you always see they have this constant, massive, full bag of hay with little holes, the bags with the small holes, like the slow feed type, so that the horses slow feed all day, because that's the closest to what they would naturally if they were turned out on the prairie, or the paddock or wherever. So that makes sense. So shout out for a sponsor there, Larsen Hay, Idaho's finest. But having good quality hay and having it in front of them is really important. And those slow feeders are great, or even horses that are turned out in a dirt paddock or something can have a compressed bale and slow feed on that, and then they're getting that constant.
Yep. And alfalfa is actually really good because it's particularly basic. So alfalfa, if you can incorporate that into your feeding regimen, that tends to be a really good one as far as that goes. Some horses can't handle the alfalfa, but if you can, that tends to be really beneficial.
Wonderful. Avoiding gastric ulcers in your horses with Dr. Adam Cayot from Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. This portion of the Horse Talk Show is brought to you by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, our television broadcast sponsor, Larsen Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and supporting sponsors DAC Minerals and Vitamins, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip, Pyranha, Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, and Ocala Dog Ranch.
Faulty wiring is the leading cause of barn fires. I'm Pat with Pat Myers Electric. Equine facilities have special electrical needs. The knowledgeable and licensed team of electricians at Pat Myers Electric will ensure that you can achieve your vision for a beautiful, safe, and functional horse facility. From new construction to rewiring and updating, the Pat Myers Electric team is ready to jump in and help keep your horses safe. With a small farm of our own, we truly understand the unique concerns of the horse owner. Don't take chances. For all your current barn needs, go to patmyerselectric.com.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, Piranha.
Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson and Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hey, this is Buck Brannaman. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larsen Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton here in the studio with the British flag. Did you know it's called the Union Jack? My co-host, Dancing Pete Roder, and very special guest here in the studio. Very excited to have with us David Saunders. David, we haven't had you on the show for a while. I love the bowler hat.
Well, thank you. It seems like I travel with a flat cap, an English flat cap, a bowler hat and a fedora wherever I go, because there's always some time you need to wear a nice hat.
That's right.
Because a bowler hat is very formal or very informal.
Yes, I love a bowler hat. There's nothing like it. I'm going to send a picture to my mum.
So the Horse Talk Show has gone to England.
We have, yes, we have indeed, we have.
Yes.
So we've got some photos of you as just a little chap that we're going to pop up here, and tell us a little bit about growing up. Were you always involved in horses?
No, far from it. My father was in the military. I was born in Egypt, actually, on the Suez Canal.
Wow.
We had our share of problems in them days. People forget, in 1952, General Nasser overthrew King Farouk. And of course the French and the British had built the canal, so we went there to protect it. So I just happened to be born there.
I actually have been down it.
Oh, really?
Yes. once I rode a camel round the pyramids too. His name was Moses. The things you don't know about me.
And a picture of me with the Davy Crockett outfit on. I guess I always fancied myself, being in England, living in that climate. It was kind of very romantic, to sit next to a man in a cowboy hat, and is just something that we all wanted to be. We all wanted to be
We all
cowboys.
do.
I know. Maybe we'll switch.
I get to sit by one every week.
There you go.
Maybe you should swap hats in the next segment. Are you in for it, Pete, or is it too much for you?
No, ma'am.
Oh, I'm going to work on that.
A cowboy in his hat. I guess the only thing better than that is your horse, your dog, your girlfriend, maybe, wife.
Yeah, girlfriend.
Yeah, maybe.
No, we don't swap any of those.
So
Those are fighting words in my neck of the woods.
That's right. I've never been able to get him to lend me his hat. So you grew up in England, and
well, no, actually, no. My father was stationed in Germany.
Oh, so you were travelling.
Yeah, I lived in Germany for about 6 years. I had 3 sisters, so I was the only boy.
Bless you.
Thank you. So I know all about leaving the toilet seat down. In fact, I didn't realise you had to put it up. But we lived in Germany, and I can remember playing with German kids when I was, 7 or 8, and I came home for dinner, you call it here, we call it tea time, and I said something in German, and my father slapped me around the ear so hard and said, "Do not speak German in this house."
Oh my God!
Well, it was kind of after the war, I guess, and they were a little bit touchy, but of course it kind of makes you, now I forcibly teach myself to speak. I have a little German, a little Dutch, a little Spanish.
Really? I mean, that's helpful.
I can say a few words in most languages.
That's wonderful. So when did you fall in love with horses?
I guess when I came back to England from Aden, which is the port of Yemen, South Yemen, my father was demobbed, as they call it. The government had decided there was too many people of his rank making his sort of money, so they wanted to kind of thin out the budget a little bit. And I went to school, and then the summertime came, and I thought, I'm going to get a job, I've got to do something, I'm a worker. I used to work in Aden. I had a bowling alley, and I ran a cinema. I was a projectionist in the cinema when I was 13, I guess.
Wow.
Oh, I remember the Sound of Music. This was in the days you had 2 cameras.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the old movies, you'll see in the top right-hand corner a little dot. Well, if you see the first dot, you start the other camera, and then when you see the second one, you kind of shut them over like that. Well, he's walking down the street where you live, singing along, and I changed things, and we'd had the wrong thing in, and suddenly they were at the races, so I got a bollocking. Can I say bollocking?
Sure you can.
Okay.
He got a bollocking.
So, but anyway, I came back to England and, wanted to work because I never, I've always worked all my life and still work now. I went over to this polo yard. His name was Edward Bolby, I remember it now. And I saw all these cute girls riding horses. And being a young hormonal man, I thought, that's where I want to be. But you can laugh. But it was logical to me. So I went over there and I said, can I do something? And they said, yeah, you can mow the polo field. So I drove the tractor and mowed, and then the girls taught me to ride. And that was really the start of my horse career. And that was only a summertime job. When it came to the end of the season, there was a guy next door that had horses and carriages for the film and television industry. Wow. And he said, we've got this movie with Michael Caine and Omar Sharif. And I said,
oh, gosh, those are some names.
And we can pay £5 a day. And
you were like, I'm a millionaire.
Exactly. So then I thought I'd work with carriage horses, because I was, I can ride, but I was never really a good rider. I'm a driver. That's my forte. So, yeah, that's.
So that's what got you started.
Absolutely.
And then, when did you get involved with the King?
Well, the Queen, actually.
Oh, it was the Queen.
Yes, he was the Prince of Wales when I was working there, Prince Charles. And as your listeners may or may not know, there's a weekly magazine called The Horse and Hound.
I love the Horse and Hound.
The Dog and Donkey, we call it in the trade,
Dog and
by the way.
Donkey, yes.
But anyway, sorry, that's...
It's another story.
I'd just got married, and me and my then wife were living above a beauty salon. And one of the bedrooms was a storage thing. So newly married people, you kind of want to be at it like rabbits, but you can't because there's someone coming up the stairs. Can I say that?
Okay. You just did. So it's too late now.
Sorry, I apologize.
Isaac, block your ears.
I apologize for using the word rabbits.
So you guys hopped around a lot.
Newlyweds.
Yeah.
They were
They were
newlyweds.
dancing.
It's
You were
called the
newlyweds.
bunny hug.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll
They were
teach you it one of
newlyweds.
these days. So anyway, I was looking through the Horse and Hound and the classified ads, and it just said carriage groom wanted, Windsor area, accommodation provided. Well, the accommodation provided was the hook for me. I said to Dot, let's get out of here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent off my resume, and about a week later the phone rang. Obviously the landline, there was no cell phones in them days, and this very haughty voice said, "Is that David Saunders?" I said, "Yes." "Is that David Edward Saunders?" And I thought, sugar plum fairies, I'm in trouble. It's a lawyer trying to get to me or something, or a solicitor as we call them.
Yeah.
And he said, "My name is Major Phelps, and I'm the superintendent at the Royal Mews, Buckingham Palace." And I said, "I bet you are," and put the phone down. Ooh. Because who's going to be calling me from Buckingham Palace? Come on. So the phone rang again. He said, "Don't hang up, don't you apply for that job, blah, 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 blah. We'd like you to come into the Mews at Buckingham Palace into London for..."
Knocked you over with a feather.
Well, they said, "Come in for an interview." I said, "I can't afford the time or the money to come into London." "Oh, we'll pay you." I said, "I'll be there." So that's kind of how it started.
Oh my gosh! Were you speechless? Were you nervous?
No,
you must
no.
have been nervous. You weren't nervous?
How did they know you?
Well, because I'd worked for the film and television industry, and I'd worked for several people that were members of the coaching club, because Prince Philip was a member of the coaching club, and Sir John Miller, who was the Crown Equerry at the time, had known I'd worked with horses, carriage horses, and driven. I mean, I did David Copperfield. I drove a hansom cab in that.
Wow.
I rode a horse in Oh What a Lovely War with not David Attenborough, the brother.
Hold that thought. We have to go to break.
Sorry.
The good news is that we have another segment with David, so you can hear the rest of this really riveting, exciting, wonderful story. I'm just afraid that another segment's not enough, but stay with us.
We'll be back.
Larsen Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larsen, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larsen Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Hey there, horsemen. Are you tired of technology that doesn't fit your way of life? Lip Chip is ready to revolutionize your barn. Built by horsemen, for horsemen. Lip Chip knows how you ride. If you're tired of carrying around paperwork, dealing with long trailer lines, and juggling all your horse's details while trying to compete, then the answer is the HoofLink system. Simply implant, scan, and unlock. Each scan reveals everything you need to work, compete, and to protect your horses. View current health paperwork, pre-register for your next event, and even check in on your horse's health. Horsemen, let's keep our horses safe and make our lives at the barn a little easier. The future is here, and the future is Lip Chip. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC. It makes a world of difference.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
The Equine Performance and Innovative Centre, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centres for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specialising in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever heard of a horse that can talk? Listen to this. With your host, Louisa Barton. She's literally in love with every horse. Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. She's back in the saddle again. And now here's your host,
Pretty,
Louisa Barton. She's a Brit, she's got the gift of the gab, and her guests are fab.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the second half of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larsen Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
In the studio with Dancin Pete Roeder from Complementary Horsemanship, and we have David Saunders here with us. And the stories are so phenomenal. I wish you were with us on the breaks. So, David, the royal family, the Muse, that has to be an amazing experience.
Oh yes, of course there was no money in it. They paid really badly, but yeah, you can laugh. But people say, "Why did you leave?" Because I needed to make some money to retire with. But no, it was a privilege working for the Queen, and I was there for a long time. The Crown Equerry was there for a long time. I guess the highlight, well, several highlights. The biggest highlight was the royal wedding, the Prince and Princess of Wales.
Yes, of course.
I think 1.5 to 2 million people on the streets of London.
It must have been amazing.
And we were told to walk most of the way because most processions are a trot, at the ceremonial trot, but they wanted us to walk. But at the time we were having problems in Northern Ireland with the IRA,
right,
the Irish Republican Army, and
I remember that.
We were told that they were going to throw ball bearings underneath the horse's feet to cause disturbance, or throw some sort of explosive device. So people said to me, "Oh, you didn't look very happy driving." I was panicking. I was remembering because we had little kind of exit strategies we could do. The guardsmen were kind of lined up, but if something went wrong, we would just kind of get the horses going and get the hell out
of there. What an immense amount of stress that must have been to be driving a carriage in the royal wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to have been just,
And you still have to stop on the red carpet, and the horses have to stand still, and the people have to get in, and you have to watch. It's like there's marks that we look for, and the Crown Equerry is the kind of master of ceremonies, and you just watch him. He gives a signal to the outriders and then signal to the drivers, so we know to prepare. But I
heard that wagon isn't very comfortable.
Well, the coronation carriage, most of them are quite comfortable, but the golden carriage is not. But it wasn't designed. It was designed to show off the monarch, really, and that's all. You have to remember, when that was made, people were living in hovels.
That's right.
So a golden carriage, and glass was very expensive. People don't understand. The glass coach, for instance, was. Now we just break glass, who cares, let's get more glass. But in them days, glass was very expensive.
Big deal, yeah.
But the second big thrill for me was the Queen's birthday parade, the Trooping of the Colour, where certain battalions of the foot guards present their colours to the Queen, and the Queen inspects them. And she rode a horse called Burmese, given to her by the Canadians, side saddle, and Prince Philip would ride alongside her. And of course, the Burmese was given to the Metropolitan Police Mounted Division, and they would give a horse to Prince Philip to ride. And Prince Philip said to me one year, "I'd like to ride Solomon." And Solomon was a thoroughbred Cleveland Bay cross, and he was the leader of our team. And I said, "Yeah, sure." So I had to prepare him, but then they also asked me to do the undress rehearsal. That's not naked, by the way, people. It just means you're not dressed in the proper dress. And then there's the dress rehearsal. And Sir John Miller's niece, Sylvia Stanier, was the Queen, and I was Prince Philip. So 1,000 foot guards on foot guards parade ground. When you ride onto the thing, basically they give you a royal salute, and there's nothing like 4,000 men giving you a royal salute.
Wow!
So that was kind of fabulous.
That's amazing.
And then going to Ascot, Royal Ascot, when you've got the royal family in the carriages. I mean, it's just. But of course, you mustn't run away with the fact some people kind of thought they were looking at them.
Yes.
The horses and the people in the back of the carriage. We're not famous. You know this. Horses make us look good.
That's right. That's right.
So I would love to hear story after story about England.
Yes.
However, what are you doing now?
Well, I'm kind of semi-retired. I have a couple of clients that I'm trying to help out, but.
Well, I love one of them. Well, actually, I probably love several, but there's one in particular that I love.
Well, Candy Bassett, I've been helping her. She's got some gypsy vanners, and I've tried to help her.
She's an amazing
Absolutely.
woman, incredible woman with such a love for these horses and this sport, and her and her husband, just their whole setup down there. We had a wonderful equine meeting down there with them, and what a great couple they are.
Yeah, they really are fabulous. And
so you're in the back of the carriage giving direction?
No, that's her just driving around by herself.
Okay.
I think that's her husband Dave on the back.
It does look like Dave. Yes, yeah. She sent me that video, and I loved it. So she's wonderful.
A lot of people now. I know you've been to Chester Webber's place and stuff like that, but I was competing when Chester was swimming around in his dad's testicles.
Oh my gosh!
What do you call them then?
Anyway. I'd get in trouble if I made that statement.
Oh,
that's
sorry.
the difference.
Neil's laughing his head off right now, I can tell you.
So anyway, Prince Philip started the sport of combined driving, and he based it on combined training, 3-day eventing, I think it's called over here.
That's right.
And so I was in at the beginning of it, and of course what happens, it's kind of been reinvented, but fundamentally, you know yourself, whatever you teach a horse to do, the fundamentals are the same.
Yes, sir.
And so most of my clientele are people that want to learn slowly, whereas the urge now for the trainers is a kind of wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and it's over and done with. Here's a trick here, here's a trick there.
Cheat code. I call them the cheat codes. You want the cheat codes? I'm not the person to call.
Exactly. And the thing that's so strange is everyone agrees that it takes time and patience to break or train a horse. I don't like the term break because we're not breaking them, we're making them.
Yeah, I get a lot of broken ones.
Yeah.
Exactly. But everyone agrees it takes time and patience, and yet people hang a shingle out and say, I'll break a horse to drive in 21 days or something like that. Well, it's kind of counterintuitive.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of happy now I'm retired because I only work for people I like. When I had to make money and pay the mortgage and pay the house payments and health insurance and stuff like that, I had to just work with anybody and everybody. We've all done that.
Tell us about Disney.
I call that crash dummy.
Tell us about Disney.
Disney.
I love this.
So,
it's phenomenal.
I know people have kind of got a thing against Facebook, but if you use it correctly, it's a wonderful thing. Mary Richards, I think her name was, said that they'd made a live-action version of Cinderella, and that they were shipping over the carriage, and did I know of anyone that could supply the horses that could pull it? And I said, well, Gloria Austin might be able to do that. Let me ask her. And of course, Gloria first said, no, I don't want to do that. And so I spoke to Mary, and she sent her a nice letter and said,
beautiful.
If you come for the day, you'll be treated like royalty and blah, blah, blah. And so anyway, long story short, we drove for 16 days, twice a day at Disney. And we did a night performance in front of the executives, and they were gobsmacked. They were just... They couldn't be. I mean, the people that were cleaning the toilets and filling up the Coke machines in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, stopped and applauded me. I mean, you don't.
Wow.
Spontaneous. Because the horses. And these
Hold that thought.
Sorry.
It's okay. So we have Pat Myers in the next segment, but it's actually shorter than the entire segment. So we have a few minutes at the beginning that we want to wrap up with David because we have to have him for 2.5 because the stories are so phenomenal. So stay with us. We're coming right back.
Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larsen Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equine, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
My name is Dr. Natalie Solomon. I formulated Equine with cutting-edge science and technology alongside the passion that is represented by a lifelong love of horses. I created a product that I would trust for my horses because they deserve nothing but the best for their bodies. Horses rely on us to take care of them, to love them, to respect them. This is how Equine came to life. Equine, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
Does your farm need a facelift? Has the harsh Florida climate left your barns, stable doors, and fences stained? J&S Pressure Washing has a professional team who can exceed your expectations and restore your farm to its former glory. Get rid of dust and cobwebs that can cause allergies and health issues for horses, and keep your horses safe by limiting fire hazards in the barn. J&S Pressure Washing can clean your house, your barns, your fences, and your driveway, and you can count on dependable and professional services. For more information, call Steven at 352-502-5355.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
This is Charlotte Cannon, and you are listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larsen Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton in the studio with her bowler hat on.
Bowler.
Yes, bowler, and Dancing Pete Rhoda, and we have been chatting to David Saunders, and we're just going to give you a little rescue story because we want to thank our firemen. You called them hunky firemen,
Yes.
and David, we were glad, was very much there and able to help and assist with the horse. And this is a horse that actually got stuck in the lake here.
Yes, it was my next door neighbour's horse. I didn't know at the time. I just pulled out to go to Candy Bassett's place to work with her. And I saw them out there with this horse wrapping a hose around it. And I said to the guys, everything under control. I'm a professional horseman. No, we've got it all under control. I said, but how are you going to control the horse? And they said, what do you mean? I said, you need a halter. What's a halter?
Or a head collar.
Or a head collar, I should say.
As we would say.
So I ran and got a head collar, and then I called Candy, and because it was really cold morning, I said, I'm late, going to come late. Can you bring a couple of blankets for this horse? So we kind of drug the horse out, and then of course, like most horses, they kind of give up and just lay there.
Right.
So I said to the fireman, do you know how to get a horse up? And they said, no. I said, you get to the tail. I've got the halter on the other end.
And
I said,
that.
1, 2, 3, because they get up slightly different to cows. In fact, the opposite to cows. And got it up, got some blankets on it. There was a couple of other horsey people there. I shouldn't take all the credit. There was a lovely lady that had miniature horses. She took it to her place and gave it some Banamine and got the vet out there. Because you could tell the horse was a little bit kind of anxious.
Yes, I'm sure. That was a chilly pond to be stuck in. But
they were, I mean, the firemen were there and everyone was trying to do their best. It was just, how do you do your best? Someone's got to take control, and I'm a little bit guilty of that. If there's an accident, I try to
be in charge.
To look at the big picture, because people don't. You're a horseman. They don't realise that there's some places you can't be when a horse jumps up.
Yes, sir.
And there's ways to get a horse up. There's ways to put a horse down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I say put it down on the ground.
Yes. Absolutely.
And,
well, I'm very, I think it's wonderful that you were there, and I'm so grateful that you and Candy were able to come in that situation and help. So,
David, you need to come back and see us and tell us some more stories.
You do.
However, we have Pat Myers Electric.
Another guy with a hat sometimes that likes to dress up.
Just like me.
Yeah, that's right. We love Pat Myers. Pat Myers Electric are amazing people. They will come and check out your barn. They'll do a walkthrough, make sure you're all safe and that your horses are not at risk of a barn fire. And we want to thank David Saunders so much for being with us. It's been amazing. We absolutely have to have him back on the show very, very soon with lots more stories. Here's Pat.
At Pat Myers Electric, we're constantly training to be our absolute best. For all your current barn needs.
Hi, Dancin Pete here for the Horse Talk Show and Equus TV. We're here with Pat Myers Electric, and we're going to do a stop and walk, meaning we're going to find little problems and talk about them.
Yep.
Why do they not put something over these things?
Yeah.
I mean, to me it looks horrible. Why don't they build a little shelter or something? And we have a fence over there. Oh, don't look at that. The box fell off. And the panel's off too. We might stop for a while here.
Yeah, that's a distinct possibility. So, we got some things going on here, Pete.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. Okay.
Sure.
Obviously, first thing I notice is we got covers on the ground.
Right.
That's always a bad sign.
Red flag.
It's a red flag. One of the major ones, obviously this one was shut, but they're utilizing this as like kind of a main junction box.
Right.
It's really just a disconnect. It's not meant to be a junction box. It's meant to be a disconnect for an air conditioner or a piece of equipment.
Just like we had by the air conditioner.
Just like, yeah, and that's exactly what this is for. It's an AC disconnect. It's meant for an air conditioner.
Okay.
So they're making a lot of splices here, and they've got one feed for everything here. So they're running the well off of it.
Right.
Then they're coming up here to run this panel. Now the panel has the right number of wires, but it's not connected to the right number of wires. We call this is a sub panel, meaning it's not the main panel for the property.
Okay.
It's not the main panel. This is a second panel besides the main.
Okay.
So whenever that happens, we need to have 4 wires feeding it. 2 hot wires, a neutral wire, and a ground wire.
Okay.
When you just have 3 wires, you don't have a ground wire.
Oh.
There's no ground. Yeah, you take a little step back.
If that was a horse, I'd be like, back up, sir.
That's it. Take a step back. It's time to reevaluate some things. So you really don't have a ground wire here. You're feeding circuits that rely on a neutral and a ground, as well as a hot, without the right number of wires in place. So this immediate danger is I can put my hands into live parts. Your horse, your kids, your dogs can come out here and just immediately, especially this box down low, because kids, dogs, that's right on their level.
Hey,
they can go,
shiny objects.
Yeah, the colorful wires and wire nuts on it, you stick your hand in it. You can immediately get hurt.
Interesting with electricity. You talked ground. Oh, my horse is having trouble riding. Well, he's got groundwork problems. He doesn't have a ground. He's not centered to the ground. We're getting good. We should do this over and over.
Is that a connection?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there you go.
My 4 C's: calm, connected, confident, and communicating.
There you go.
Isn't that what electricity?
Same thing with electricity.
Wow.
I mean, and here, let's talk about ground. Here is a ground wire connected to a ground lug that is not connected to anything. There is no connection.
That's like the
here
people
at all.
that buy the equipment. I got my stick, I got my long rope, I got my rope halter, and it's got dust in the barn.
Or it's sitting in the truck.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not working.
It's not working.
It's not doing what it's supposed to do. So couple problems here that obviously we need to get addressed. We always want to make sure that you have the right voltage, you've got it grounded properly. You have, if you need a circuit for your well, get a circuit for the well. If you need a circuit for another piece of equipment, don't steal it from the well. The well, we've built that to be strong enough to handle that piece of equipment. It's time to bring something else out so that we can make sure it's addressed correctly and it's running properly.
Wow.
Because if not, you're putting extra strain on that circuit, extra strain on your equipment, and it just shortens the life of it and can cause it to burn up.
So our walk brought us here, and our stop could save our lives.
Absolutely.
Because
it's worth the stop.
Yeah, it's worth the stop.
It's worth the stop.
I like it. We got to come up with what stop stands for.
Yeah.
Circuit or surge or something.
Yeah. Well, that's a good. We'll work on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, that's great. That's important too, because to me, this is a junction box. It's fine. Just like if you walked up to a horse, oh, he looks fine. He's real quiet, Pete. And I'm like, no, he's shut down and he's going to explode out of nowhere.
Yeah.
If you put enough pressure on him, just like with electricity with no ground, boom, he's going to explode. And those are the people that come 2 weeks later. Oh, he blew up out of nowhere on the trail. And I'm like, out of nowhere? I saw it too.
Nowhere.
Just like if you said, oh, I got electrocuted on this box, you go, well, Pete, I told you 2 weeks ago.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
That's
just
great.
Just being aware of what those cues are.
Well, this alone right here has done wonders for my awareness.
Yeah.
And thanks again, Pat, for coming
problem.
out. Walk and stop anytime.
Anytime.
Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larsen Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equine, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center. The Equine Performance and Innovative Centre, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centres for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specialising in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show.
Thank you. Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larsen Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Stop laughing.
Sorry.
Sorry about that, guys. We had a little bit of fun before we got onto this segment.
So. I hope that it's on the blooper reel because
yes.
Isaac's response was priceless. There is a Pyranha bag for you here full of goodies.
Oh, thank you very much.
And there is also a beautifully lasered Loco Graphics TT distributor partnership here on this amazing brush with the Horse Talk Show on it, and you can't beat a nice dandy brush.
That's a dandy brush.
It's a dandy brush, yes.
I'm getting rid of the dander off the horse.
That's right. It's a dandy brush. I actually cried during the break. I laughed so hard. So we're going to go to Dancin Pete's horsemanship tip of the week.
Dancin Pete's tip of the week, Brought to you by Complementary Horsemanship.
This tip is sponsored by WildlifeWorksLLC.com for your unwanted wild critters removal.
Horsemanship tip of the week is, I was watching a video about Kobe Bryant, the Lakers basketball player, and a guy came and watched him do his warm-up and then his training, and he sat there and he goes, "You're just doing what I would teach a middle school basketball team to do." And Kobe says, "Yeah," he says, "I practice the basics. I just don't get bored with them." And that's the tip of the week, is your basics is your foundation for everything. If you're getting bored with the basics, you're not going to get good. If you talk to the top horse people in the world, they do the basics with excellence. So if you get sick of doing basics, and I get a lot of phone calls from trainers that are going, "I have a student that doesn't want to do the basics," and I'm like, do what you can to get them into the basics, but if they can't do the basics, then you really need to move on or get them to go to someone else, because you want students that want to do the basics, even at the beginning, because that's how you get really good with horses.
It's true. Very,
and
very
I was
important.
the first one. I wanted to go do all the fun things, and when I sat down and I said, I've got to do factory work and do the basics with excellence, that's when I started getting good with horses.
Really important, really important. And let's go to another one of our experts, and a hacks to relax, because we love our top 10 hacks to relax from world
3.
champion Charlotte Cannon. The Cannon method: relax, release, rewire, and win. And we are on number 3, and it's not that difficult.
Okay.
It's exhale. Doesn't that feel good? Too short inhale, long exhale triggers your endorphins. And I have had my endorphins triggered today.
I think that's from laughter.
Laughter is the best medicine. And I can guarantee you, if around David Saunders, you are going to laugh. So these are your top 10 hacks to relax by Charlotte Cannon, dear friend of ours. And you can follow her and check her out. And there's tapping points on the back of this wonderful card as well, by the way. Another expert in the four-legged world is Neil Hennessy from Ocala Dog Ranch, and Horse Talk Show is going to the dogs. The Horse Talk Show goes to the dogs at Ocala Dog Ranch.
Neil Hennessy, the owner of Ocala Dog Ranch. One of the most important things we can do for our dogs is keep them healthy and not give them too many treats. Obese dogs are like obese people. We have a tough time dealing with life. So if you want to give your dogs treats, cut down on the amount of food that you give them for their meal times, and use their meal times to reward them for doing activities that you would like them to do. Treats are a good thing when used in the appropriate manner. Remember, a healthy dog is a happy dog.
Another amazing Brit, Neil Hennessy, cutting down on
I like that tip.
Cutting down on treats. He didn't say no treats. He just said cutting down on treats. There are some people in this world who deserve so much love, and Gentle Carousel Miniature Therapy Horses are those folks. I'm going to tell you, this 501c3 organization who has Magic and another 17 or 18 minis who are all trained to go inside buildings, hospitals, and not even wear a bag. They're trained to tap the ground when they need to go to the bathroom, and they go out to their horse trailer or out to the farm. These animals are absolutely amazing. This man right here, George Garcia, is one of the kindest, nicest guys with the biggest heart. Him and Debbie do such an amazing job, and that is Magic, who is the only top 10 living most heroic animal in the history of the world. And she is also an official Ocala Police Department officer. And she is an amazing little horse that visits thousands of sick and dying children and adults every year. She visits rehabs. She visits all of our elementary schools. Her and her other horses visit all of the elementary schools in Marion County with horses and literacy. They take the book and they read the book to the children. Kindness is encouraged, kind acts, kind words. And then the character that's in the book steps out of the horse trailer, and the kids get to meet that little horse in person.
Which would get me crazy if I was younger and that happened.
I know, it's amazing. And that is their little horse Circus, who the kids get to put a little spot on of paint, every time they say something kind until he's covered in little spots of non-toxic paint. Little circus. The kids love him. He's amazing. These people are amazing. If you're looking for a 501c3 to bless, you can't do any better than Gentle Carousel Miniature Therapy Horses. That is them visiting the Capitol on Marion County Day last week to represent us. And they did a fine job, as always. And at 11 o'clock this Thursday, they are celebrating Don's 100th birthday. A very special man, very special veteran. And they are celebrating that birthday, and they moved the birthday a little bit so they could come to that and the Equine Initiative meeting. So they'll be there to celebrate with him. Hundreds of people sent him birthday cards. Very, very exciting stuff. They do incredible work, so please look out.
Great people.
They are amazing people. Love them, and dear, dear friends of ours, and what an absolutely incredible organization with everything that they managed to do, canvassing our county and beyond.
And how well they take care of their horses. It's not just let's get them in, let's get them out.
No.
It's they get a break, they get to go and have fun. They get to be horses when they're not doing their role.
They're so conscientious about the way those horses are looked after. And they'll take 2 horses when they need to, so horses can break. They'll take horses back to the trailer and they'll say, no, that's it for now. The horse needs to have a break, and they'll take the horse back, and the trailer's set up with 2 stalls in it. So the horses actually have bedding and everything. They can lie down, rest, have some hay.
And I've even heard Debbie say we will cancel an event in the middle of it if that's what the horse needs, so that we don't ruin the horse down the road.
Yes.
That's the kind of people that need to be doing these kind of things.
Yeah, it's really an amazing organization. You'd love them. You got to meet them sometime.
Okay.
Don't forget that
Valentine's Day.
Yes. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way. That's tomorrow. Today, but if you're listening on Saturday morning on the radio, it already passed, but it's not too late to love on your person. So there is no love so close as that between a horse and rider. So
or a driver.
Or a driver, that's right. So don't forget, Nirvana Medical Spa has got specials through February 29th. So if you didn't get your other half hay or flowers, this is a great option.
That, or on Saturday, Larsen Hay will be open till 2 o'clock. You could go get them a surprise hay thing.
That's right. It's never too late. So I'm just going to tell you that hay, flowers, and Nirvana Medical Spa, it doesn't come much better than that. And don't forget, Larsen Hay is now open until 5:30 on weekdays and until 2, as Pete said, on Saturdays. So we have to wrap it up. David, thank you so much for being with us. It was amazing.
Pleasure.
We have to have you back. We absolutely do. Whether you're in Ocala, Marion County,
or not,
the horse capital of the world, by the way, we'll be back. Happy horsing around till the same time next week.
See you later.